Hello students, welcome to Diademy IAS History Optional Lecture. In this video, we are going to analyze the trend of 2024 History Optional paper. Just now, the History Optional exam was over. Now we are going to understand how the trend was there in comparison with other periods. This year, how the paper came. In which topics questions came and which topics questions did not appear. Earlier times also we have analyzed the trend by taking the example of 23 and 22. In which chapters how questions are being framed, how UPSC is framing the questions. In this also we are going to see that one. But I am going to do another video in detailed analysis. I am going to discuss the answers, how each and every question can be answered. That separately I will take, that detailed answer will come later. But here we are trying to understand how the trend, in which chapters questions came. This is the question paper. This is map question, 20 questions. This is how the map is given. And thereafter, second question onwards, normal, regular questions. Here 2A, 20 marker, 15 marker, 15 marker. Each question contains 50 marks. Second question, third question, fourth question. And let us see this combination. 2A comes from which chapter, 2B comes from which chapter, 2C comes from which chapter. To understand that, let us see, that is not clear. The original UPSC paper is not clear. That's why I have taken and I have taken it. These are the various map sites. And this is the question paper. If you see the first question, 2A, Harappan art contributes to our understanding of their aesthetic sensibilities in addition to spiritual and ritualistic life. Comment. Harappa related question. It is talking about something Harappan art and also how this art will help us to understand their spiritual and ritual life. Discuss the different types of megalithic burial practices in India. How far does the archaeological evidence from it help us to know religious beliefs and cultural practices? That is another question. Megalithic evidence, and simply it is asking Harappan archaeological evidence and religious and spiritual life. Megalithic archaeological evidence and cultural or the religious life. So here concept is religion. And while we are discussing about different frameworks also, like when it comes to ancient, this broad framework, like each and every chapter fall under like economy, society, religion, political administration and so on. Here the questions are about religious angle, but in Harappa also and megalithic also. Western Kshatrapas are known for their socio-economic contribution. So this question is about society and economy. Time period is Shakas. Western Kshatrapas nothing but Shakas. Shakas are known for their socio-economic contribution, particularly in trade, agriculture, urbanization. So visualize the geographic location in which areas they were having control and write about society and economy. And so on. Next, symbiotic relationship between Buddhism, Buddhist establishment, traders, artisan guilds and royal support. It is mixing Buddhism, religion, how this religion is having interaction with economy and polity. Actually, this is the question which is a repeated question but in a different form. Earlier questions were asked like how 6th century BC, that means during Mahajanapada period, how the society, economy, political conditions helped the growth of Buddhism. In that angle, there was a question in a different manner this was asked. So relationship between, simply what was the relationship between economic, political conditions of Mahajanapada time period and rise of new religions. And that new religions, example here is Buddhism. We have to explain the same. Next one, discuss the role of Buddhism in shaping the socio-religious landscape of Mauryan Empire. So with respect to this, in Mauryan and post-Mauryan period, examine the statement. That question, when it comes to Buddhism, Mahajanapada time period onwards, That trend we need to extract when it comes to the previous question, Buddhism and the factors for the rise of Buddhism in Mahajanapada time period. The same concept applied for the Mauryan and post-Mauryan period when it comes to 3A. So it is asking about how Buddhism enlarged during Mauryan and post-Mauryan, but it has a relationship with the economy also. So simply, how the politics patronized Buddhism, how economy patronized Buddhism. That is the simple explanation. Discuss the role of Buddhism in shaping the socio-religious landscape of Mauryan Empire. It is asking about, in Mauryan Empire, how the Buddhism religion played an important role in changing the society and religious angle about Mauryan Empire. Discuss the evolution of state institution and taxation from Rigvedic period to later Vedic. Vedic period, asking about state institution, that means political administration and taxation, simply political. If you understand how it is falling, one question is about spiritual life, religious life, society, economy, political administration, and so on. So these are the basic themes that are there in our ancient India. Only these themes will be get repeated when it comes to the different time periods. Society, economy, religion, political admin. So if you see the question here, now what is question is talking about? When it comes to Shaka's socio-economic conditions. Shaka's society and Shaka's economic conditions. When it comes to Rigvedic period, political administration. And this time, religion, culture, many questions have come. Religion and culture related, many questions have come this year. Harappa also related to this. Buddhism related. In this way, you can see, even in case of megalithic, also different kinds of religious. Themes are this only, but only time period change, geography changes. Next one. Fourth one. Highlight the contributions of Aryabhatta, Varahamihir, Brahmagupta in the field of astronomy, mathematics. So to this list, we need to add science and technology. One question is related to that one. Examine the course of Pallava Chalukya conflict between 6th and 8th century. Political administration or politics. Examine the role played by Agraharas in the promotion of education in the early medieval India. So it is asking about again religion or culture means education also it is asking about, or simply the time period is early medieval. So if you observe this one, more questions are appearing in this angle. That's what the trend is saying, that Harappa related, Buddhism related, and in case of Buddhism, two questions, megalithic, then early medieval time period also, how education Agraharas. Agraharas education, Agraharas are the Brahmanical villages. State used to give tax-free lands to them, and they used to use this land grants for benefiting the people by spreading the Sanskrit education and other education and culture during early medieval time period. Again, culture angle. So this is how, when it comes to most important aspect in this year is talking about religion and culture. Next, when it comes to section B, you can see A, illustrate the main features of Visara style temple architecture. And when it comes to religion and architecture, if you include architecture in culture, architecture, then that is another angle. because religion and culture go together. When it comes to this particular section, you can see how many questions are coming in this year. That is one. Vaisara style, Nagara, Dravida, Vesara, and it is asking about specifically Vesara. Evaluate Firoz Shah Tughlaq's economic policies, economy and Firoz Shah. Evaluate contribution of Kalandaria to medieval Indian culture, that is a Sufi sect. There are different variant Sufi sects and one among that. Again, Bhakti and Sufism. Bhakti and Sufism. There is another question also on Bhakti. Triumvirate of Vedantic thought, that is also there. Evaluate contribution of Sufi, that you can see. Now you can see how the trend is moving. More and more questions are falling when it comes to religion, art and culture, cultural aspect. Evaluate the contribution of Sufi. Discuss the main features of Malwa school of painting, culture angle. Highlight the features of Portuguese colonial enterprise, Portuguese related. Analyze the contribution of Acharya triumvirate. This is a Vedantic thought. Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya. The contribution of three different Acharyas. That is another Vedantic thought. Bhakti, Sufi, Vedanta. Philosophy. Compare and contrast the position of Hindu and Muslim women in 13th and 14th century. In society, specifically asking about women condition. When it comes to Shaka time period, general, in society, women will come. Then Varna system will come, Jati system will come, urbanization will come, many things will come. But here the question is about particularly women condition in Delhi Sultanate. Causes and consequences of peasant uprising during Aurangzeb period. Mughals, when it comes to one of the factors for the decline of Mughal Empire were Aurangzeb policies. It gradually led to different crises also, peasant revolts also, one characteristics. Instead of bringing credit, the Ibadat Khana brought growing discredit to Akbar. Ibadat Khana, religious philosophy angle, once again, in Mughal time period also, Akbar period. How did the Maratha guerrilla warfare tactic contribute to their military success against larger and more established armies? So it is asking about Marathas and politics. Role of Asafjahi dynasty in the political transformation. This is with respect to 18th century development, rise of Nizam. Discuss the contributions of Bahmani sultans to the development of Indo-Islamic architecture, art and culture angle, Islamic architecture. Evaluate the impact of Third Battle of Panipat, political angle, economy, and this battle impact. Examine the process of urbanization caused by the establishment of European trading companies in India, urbanization. Varied angles, these are the 8 questions, and these are the themes. And the themes which are related to religion, culture, architecture, philosophy, bhakti and Sufi, they all go together. In that angle, more number of questions were asked in paper 1. This is how the recent trends, and most importantly, this is also one area generally students feel little bit difficult also in understanding this angle. Religion, philosophy, culture, it's culture, painting, architecture, all these have interconnection. This is area where this year who are going to prepare. Generally, when it comes to this, society, economy, political administration, science and tech also, they are questions very direct, and these questions can be easily answered also. And in fact, these questions are also direct questions only. But only in this angle, you have to prepare this year onwards. You start giving more and more focus on this angle also. Anyway, this angle is most of the majority students generally, because our books, whatever books we are referring, they mainly focus on these angles only. That's why we did not have much problem in handling this. But when it comes to this angle, whatever the books which we are following do not focus that much. That's why the students who are not comfortable in this angle feel this paper is little bit difficult paper. So this is the trend. We need to understand this aspect. One more aspect which we can understand, if we analyze, and this kind of analysis we have done previously for 23 also, 22 also, in which area or in which subject, in which, this is the syllabus, in which unit questions asked in a combination. Here you see this. This is about paper 1, all the units. 1, 2, 3 and so on. Total 24 units are there. First question is map, and from second question onwards we can see this. The combination, you observe this. In second question, if you want to write second question properly, you have to have command over this also, third unit. Command over fourth unit also, megalithic unit. Generally, students are not that much comfortable in prehistory and megalithic culture. Because they are all, we know whatever the details we know, that is through archaeological evidence only, not through books. Analyzing archaeological evidence is very, very crucial in understanding these cultures. And you can see here, one question Harappa, one question. Students are very much comfortable in Harappa. Harappa related everything they prepare. But when it comes to megalithic, students do not feel that comfort. They will not have much information with them. But the question combination is this one, Harappa and megalithic. If you write it, you will write very good answer for Harappa, but you will not write good answer in megalithic. Or you have to skip it. And if you skip it, and let us see what is the third question. One question is this, and fourth one, and next eighth unit. You can see how questions are coming now. 1, 2 and 8th combination is spreading now. Earlier, second question was coming like up to Mauryans. If you prepare up to 7 units properly without skipping anything, then there is guarantee that one question can be written. And now also you can write, but not the second question, but third question you can write. Third question, Vedic, Mahajanapadas and Mauryan. So this is the combination. Suppose if you are very comfortable in Mahajanapadas, Aryans, Mahajanapadas and Mauryans, these 3 units, if you are very comfortable, then there is a chance that you will write. So this is how, when it comes to this question. So how the question came? When it comes to 3A. And here also, if you observe this 3A, third question, 2 questions related to Buddhism only. So unless you have good command over religious angle and how it has to be connected with socio-economic political conditions also, then only you can write this answer very well. Buddhism, Mauryan and Buddhism, this is post-Mauryan, Mauryan and Mauryan. Simply Mauryan and post-Mauryan Buddhism, linkage 2 questions. Evolution of state and taxation with respect to the Aryans. That is one question. This is the combination. Next, if you go to fourth question, Gupta, there is no Gupta. You can see, observe this. You might be very good in Guptas. All types of combinations of dimensions you might have read very well. But here, in this year, there is no question on Gupta as such. Regional states. I was keep on explaining since so many years that regional states are going to be very, very important. Every year, most of the important questions used to come from these regional states, either in the ancient India or in the medieval India. That's why we should not leave regional states also. Very, very important. These questions, 2 questions came from that particular direction only. In that unit itself, 11th unit, 2 questions. And another one is the 13th unit or 12th unit. This one, 13th unit, early medieval India, 1 question. You cannot leave early medieval also. Now suppose you see here, this is the combination and this is the combination. But in this combination, they are mixing religious culture also in 1 question. You should be very comfortable to write. And here also, politics, culture, religion go together. That is the combination of this question. Next, medieval. What is the 5th question? Combination. Now you see here. You have to be very comfortable in 14th unit. Now you see section B, question is coming from 14th unit. Generally, early medieval means 13th and 14th we keep in the section A, but it is not like that. Here, the question is asked in section B. 14th, next one, 15th, 16th one, Feroz Shah Tughlaq time period, 16th combination. Society, culture, angle, 17th unit, and in 18th unit, 18th talks about the early 15th and early 16th. This region is about regional dimension, regional politics. disintegration of Delhi Sultanate and the rise of so many regional kingdoms. There also regional kingdoms, here also regional kingdoms. You can see in regional kingdoms 2 questions there and here also 2 questions. That shows the importance of regional kingdoms. Next, 6th question. One question is related to 14th. Now observe this one. 14th unit is appearing not in single question, not in 5th question. It came in 5th question also. It came in 6th question as well. Now, anyway, 5th question is compulsory. There is no choice for you. When it comes to 6th, if you want to apply, if you want to write 6th one, again, you should be very much comfortable in 14th unit. 13th unit and 14th unit are very, very transitional because these are the transitional zones. You cannot skip them. For these 2 topics, generally, whatever books we are reading, this is not available properly. That's why you prepare from the IGNOU material. Very good material is available for 13th and 14th unit. Next one, 7th question. It is talking about Akbar. Again, Akbar and related to religion. Once again, you see 2 questions, 18th century. 18th century also, again, rise of regional kingdoms. Nizam, Hyderabad, the question was asked clearly. 18th century, 2 questions in 7th question and 8th question here also. Now, if you observe this, in ancient India also, wherever regional kingdoms are there, 2 questions came. During Delhi Sultanate period, regional kingdoms, 2 questions came. And here, when it comes to 18th century, 2 plus 1, 3 questions came. And when it comes to early medieval, again transitional zone, there 2 questions came. So wherever the regional transitions are emerging, wherever multiple regional kingdoms are emerging, be very careful, there more questions are coming. In this year, in paper 1, simply the trend is more questions appeared in religion, culture, art and architecture angle, more questions. And that is the dimension where more questions came. And another observation is regional kingdoms. So this is the crux of paper 1 question paper trend. Now let us go to paper 2. If we go to paper 2, in paper 1 itself, let us see before going there, if we understand. One more trend in paper 1 with respect to European, emergence of European. And in fact, we can categorize into regional kingdoms only after the disintegration of Delhi Sultanate and Mughals. 2 questions in European related. One is how the urbanization emerged during Europeans, and another one is Portuguese. So with the advent of Europeans, 2 questions came. That is also one angle we need to observe. Let us go to paper 2. Paper 2 is about modern India and modern world. This is the question paper. This is not clearly visible here. That's why I have prepared. Let us go to paper 2. Broadly, I will read. You will have some idea that how questions came. Then we will go to Excel sheet, how questions are framed, in which units questions came. After the Battle of Plassey, the mercenary became the kingmaker. It is simply what happened to the consequence of Bengal. Consequences after Battle of Plassey. That is the simple question. The values of utilitarianism prompted the company administration to, it is the philosophy behind the British administration. That is the one. In course of 19th century, the agenda of social reform was gradually replaced by revivalism. In social religious reform, reformation is there, revivalism is there, revivalism. Please observe this. In paper 2 also, something related to philosophy's religious angle may appear. The Federal Provisions of Government of India Act founded on the rock of princely intransience. This is related to the 1935 Act. Strength of the Pakistan program was its vagueness. It meant everything to everyone. Partition related. The pace of commercialization of agriculture increased as a result of British revenue policies in India. Economic angle, commercialization. Why was Great Revolt 1857 confined only to North India? How did it change the character of British rule in the subcontinent? Causes and consequences. But when it comes to causes, Here, why was this 1857 confined to North India? So what were the major reasons behind 1857 revolt in northern India alone, and why in South India or in other parts not there? Why did the demand for land reform never become an agenda in the national politics after 1947? Post-independence question. Here also you will observe post-independence side, more questions came. We will see in the analysis. Political extremism in colonial India often converged with cultural nationalism, but not always. Culture and extremism. Once again, you see, like in ancient India, we have seen religion, culture, art and architecture related. Here also, we will observe some questions on those lines. Regionalism in India after 47 was occasioned by developmental imperatives as much as linguistic particularism. Again, to protect the culture and economy. Economy and culture combination will come here. 20 years of peace secured by Treaty of Salabai proved very costly to the Marathas in strategic terms. It is related to the conquest of the British Anglo-Mysore Wars. This is another question. The Swadeshi movement of 1905 anticipated, and the themes were repeated from the previous year question also. This question, particularly Treaty of Salabai, it was asked in a different format earlier. Swadeshi movement anticipated many of the tactics that were later developed during the Gandhian mass movement. So, simplified version is wow, the significance of 1905, but here you need to link with Swadeshi style of movement with later period movement. The similarities and what are the trends that initiated by the Swadeshi movement. The trade union movement joined forces with the mainstream of nationalist politics to strengthen each other in their struggle against colony. How simply trade union movement and nationalist movement joined hands. India's developmental strategy after independence was influenced by economic imperative, not ideological considerations. Economy was more important after independence, and what are those factors which propelled Indian government to take policies? Ideas raised by Enlightenment thinkers were profoundly unsettling and challenging to the old regime society and political order. The impact or what was the impact of Enlightenment ideas on the society? The American Civil War was a result of disparity of needs of industrial North and agrarian South. Simply the factors for the American Civil War, but in economic direction, disparity of the needs of industrial growth. But here question is about critical examination. It's not only about that, other factors were also there. Unification of Germany was as much a product of coal and iron, and it was blood and iron. So politics and economics joined hands. The new regime of China addressed the peasant question by instituting land redistribution. This year trend of the question paper, if you observe in paper 2, economy related, more and more questions are coming. Post-independence economy. In world also, Germany economy related and China economy related. Multiple trade union and nationalist movement. Economic angle is coming, observing more and more questions. So when it comes to paper 1, we observed religion, art and culture, and other cultural elements or more questions appeared. This time, economy related. The revolutions did not simply destroy governments, but they also ended an ideology. End of Cold War. The course of English industrialization. Again, industrialization, economic angle. You can see here more questions in paper 2, economy. Paper 1, culture. Paper 2, more trend towards economy. Social and political landscape of Europe after First World War was uniquely suited to the rise of fascism. Factors for the rise of fascism after First World War. The state was the most important factor in the industrialization of Russia. Industrialization, Russia, again, economic angle. Second World War was a truly global conflict, the total war of Second World War. Trace the different stages of European economic integration, again, economy related, European Union. The nature of apartheid regime undermines South Africa's claim of being a democratic polity. The impact of apartheid, moral impact. The emergence of two power blocks not only symbolizes two competing ideologies, but also two alternative models of economic growth. Would you observe this? Again, economy related question. Cold War politics, but again, the question is twisted in such a way that we need to focus on economic dimension. Emergence of two power blocks not only symbolized to competing ideologies, political angle, not only, but also to alternative models of economic growth. How the capitalism is an economic growth model, how communism is a model of growth, economic growth. To what extent underdevelopment in Latin America is caused by neo-imperialism? Again, underdevelopment, economic related. So this overall trend, it observe that economy-related questions are more and more observing. How did Ho Chi Minh emerge as the central figure in the Vietnamese independence movement? It's related to Vietnam and the leadership of Ho Chi Minh. So these are the various questions. Now, if we see the trend, broader trend is economic angle in paper 2 is visible more. If we observe the unit-wise, how the combination of questions were framed. Class C, utilitarianism, social reform, 1935 Act and partition. So these are the various questions. Now if we go here, question number 1. Now you see this, unit 1. Let us see how the combination, from which units combination came. First unit, third unit, fifth unit, 10th unit and 12th unit. Now you see in question number 1, first 12 units were entire modern India covered in single question, fifth question. First question in paper 2, first question. Second question, it's talking about economic impact, one question. Indian response to British rule, and another question, economic development in mixing with post-independence also in this question. Now you should be comfortable in the post-independence related topics also to answer second question. Next, this question, third question, British expansion, then factors leading to rise of birth, Swadeshi, consolidation as a nation, again post-independence. Now you see, if you leave post-independence part, no matter what, you are very comfortable up to 1947. Here you cannot select second question and third question also. It becomes very difficult to answer this. That's why you have to be comfortable here. So there are certain black spots, there are certain areas which generally are not very much comfortable for the student in paper 1, also in paper 2 also. In paper 1, early medieval period and regional kingdoms, but more and more questions are coming there, you can observe that. And also culture, culture and religion related, those questions are coming. When it comes to this, economy related and also post-independence period also must be taken care very well. Fourth question is about 8th, 9th and 15th. So these are post-independence related questions are coming. Next, let us go to fifth one. In paper 2, post-independence is one area, not comfortable. Another one is British ideologies, that also questions came. Enlightenment in world history, that is one typical area. And also after Second World War, like so many developments have taken place, like Cold War, European integration, then neo-imperialism in different Africa, Latin America. These are the areas generally Enlightenment phase and post-World War. These two areas also, but questions are merging in such a way you are supposed to write if you select those questions. Fifth question, 16th, 17th, then 19th, and also you can see 27th question. 27th. Last unit merged with question number 5th. You cannot escape that. You have to write. Next, industrialization. This year on economy industrialization, 2 questions, England and Russia. Second one, revolution and counter revolutions. Fascism related, 1 question combination. 7th question, world wars. Then another question, liberation from the colonial rule. 1 unit, 1 question, unification of Europe. So here, last question, 23rd, world after World War I, World War II, liberation from colonial rule and decolonization and underdevelopment. You observe one more trend here. These units, 24th, 25th and 26th, 24th, 25th and 26th, you can see 4 questions in just 2 units. This is also you can observe that. And these are the areas: liberation from the colonial rule, decolonization and underdevelopment, and unification of Europe. So how the after Second World War, how different dynamics were taking place across the world. So simply, if we see the trend here, you need to be very, very comfortable in the last units also, 24, 25, 26, 27. Generally, students are not that comfortable in that area, but questions are compulsory. That's why you are supposed to write. You have to be very comfortable. And another trend which we need to understand, enlightenment every year question used to come, this year also. But economic angle came. Generally in modern world, political angle used to come more. Political related, how unification, how different ideologies. But this year, more economic angle, economic dimensions came. So this is the trend when it comes to paper 2. Simply, if we summarize, paper 1 trend is religion, philosophy, culture related, more questions, and regional kingdoms. First learning lesson. Another, when it comes to paper 2, economic angle type questions are more, and also the questions in the last units, questions are being coming. In this format, so simply, if we are comfortable with each and every chapter, then no matter what and no matter how difficult the question paper is, you will give your best. All the best. This is the trend of paper 1 and paper 2. I will take another session, detailed solutions for each and every question. We will analyze. Thank you. Thank you very much.